What is good, YouTube, and welcome back to another JC2K video. In today's video, I'm going to be ranking every single new card that came out today in the MECHA set or the GOAT WEMBY set from worst to best here in NBA 2K24 MyTEAM. This list is going to feel like a little bit of a joke, and I'm just warning y'all, this is a little bit stupid the way that this list goes this week, because you'll see. This is generally this video is pretty useful, I think, for people. I'm not sure it's as useful this week because I think you don't really need me to know that the Wembys are pretty OP. So yeah, before we hop into the video, if you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Help me push towards the 30,000 subscriber mark on the channel. I upload every single day. Would really appreciate it if y'all do subscribe. Without further ado, let's hop right into it. So the worst card in today's drop, I think, is probably Jalen Green, honestly. I know he's a dark matter. He's the first buyable dark matter. I think he's the worst card in the drop. Now, his SIGs are very, very good. He's got Pro 2 fade. His release is just bad, and he's only 6'4" at the point guard position. So those two things, bad release and lack of size, will combine to make a very mediocre card, even if everything else about the card is good, and that is basically the case here with this Jalen Green card. I think he's pretty easily the worst card from today's drop. So he starts us off there. Now, next you have the free Wembanyama. This Wemby, admittedly, you could make an argument might deserve to be a spot or two higher than this. He does have his release on very quick, but I will say the badge completeness could be a little bit better. I mean, he's got 20 Hoffs, and he's got some pretty good Hoffs, a bunch of good gold badges as well. Still missing some shooting badges like a limitless range, some of the perimeter defense, although not too bad. But as a whole, not a bad card. And at 79 speed, he is 7'4". He's got his release on very quick, 87 3 ball. Like, I wish he was a little faster maybe, but as a whole, he's a free 7'4" center who actually is okay. Like, that card is not terrible, so I'll put him there. Next is Keegan Murray, who I do believe is also pretty good, but his release, I mean, is a little ugly. I feel if it's not hard to grain. He doesn't have unbelievable playmaking. He's a really versatile defender, though. Great shooting badges and stats. Like, card looks good, 6'8". We're at the point where every card that comes out is at least solid, though. So that's the thing to keep in mind, is that every single card is getting souped up across the board. So you got to keep that in mind. A guy like Keegan is just, I mean, he's got good SIGs. He's got Kyrie Joel style Kemba escape and a solid release. I just think he's like not game changing at his position. You know what I mean? He's good. I actually think he's a solid small forward. Might even be your best buyable small forward. He's a card we're going to try today, but he's still one of the worst cards in today's drop. Mo Pete is next. Another card who, like, you could argue might be the best buyable card in the player market at his position, and yet is still one of the worst cards in today's drop. Just goes to show how crazy this drop is, because he even has half handles for days. He's got legit playmaking ability. Now, the defense could be a little better, but at least his defensive badges are complete in terms of the gold badges. He's got key ones like anchor clamps, fast feet on Hoff. Finishing is solid. Release, I know, is really, really good. That's a big plus for this card, is that his release is absolutely money, and Trey escape is also really good, as well as the hard mind in the back. So I think you're looking at a elite level shot creator with the half handles for days, elite shooting ability, great SIGs, and an awesome release. So he's might be your best buyable shooting guard, which is crazy to say. Like, I think he looks really good too, and he's still low on this list. Even a JaVale McGee, like, this card reminds me a lot of Galaxy Opal Tyson Chandler. Elite defender, elite dunker, has playmaking ability, even as a base card, just needs shooting badges, but he's got an 84 base 3 ball as well. So, like, as a whole, this is another card that you add a few shooting badges on him, and he's an absolute dog. As a base card, maybe I guess you would say that Keegan and Mo Pete might be a little bit better, but I think his size is really valuable, and if you do batch him out as a shooter, he does provide a lot of value against these higher tier gambling cards in a way that Mo Pete and Keegan simply won't, and that's why I have him slightly higher than them. Even if as a base card he is not as statistically complete. Now we move on to the next Wembanyama, which is the pullable Galaxy Opal Wemby, who is basically the same, slightly better statistically, but pretty close to the same as the other one, just more complete in terms of overall Hall of Fame badges, overall badges period. Even some animation stuff I think is pretty much the same, but I just think it's a little more size, a little more badges. Like, these cards are not far off, and honestly, like, between this Wemby, the free Wemby, and the 3 other buyable opals, all of these cards are good. So how you want to rank them is kind of up to you, but I think this Wemby still goes a little bit lower than some of these top tier dark matters. Although I say that, I guess the main reason for that would be that he's only 79 speed still. Like, that's the main complaint, because badge and stat wise he's really good, and he's 7'4". I think there's some really good dark matters. So I don't know, maybe I'm putting him a little low still, and maybe I put the free Wemby a little bit low. I don't know, but the next card on the list is Zach LaVine. This LaVine card is 6'5" with 6'8" wingspan at the point guard spot, and I think he's good. He's super athletic as a dunker. He's a versatile defender, And he's got a really nice release as well. Pro 2 fade, Kyrie dribble style, Trey escape, Steph behind the back. You know what? I'm not going to lie. I'm one spot too low on this card. I think Levine is really good, but I think he actually deserves to be one spot higher because I would put Devin Booker below Zach Levine. Sorry. The reason that I say that, yes, his stats and badges are near perfect, but this Devin Booker card still has his own escape and his own behind the back, which are not very good sigs. Kyrie dribble style is nice, elite fade, and a great release, but his escape and behind the back are not good versus Levine's, which are. Levine is just as athletic, very similar in size, stat and badge-wise, very complete and capable and comparable to Devin Booker. So I would take Levine over D-Book, and I think that is totally fair despite the fact that D-Book is 100 overall. Now, moving on, you got Giannis. Obviously, Giannis is really, really good as a 7-foot small forward, 7'4" wingspan, has a lot of versatility. Sakemba escape does help to upgrade his movement a little bit as well, but I don't love the release at the small forward position. Now, the size of the small forward position is really valuable, as is the badge completeness and how good he is defensively as well as a slasher, and he's a really, really good card. If I were to pull this Giannis today or get him from locking in the set, I would be pleased. I think he's a very, very good card. I just think there are a few better ones still. I think Hakeem's a little better than Giannis, quite simply because I like his release more. He's 7 foot with a 7'3" wingspan, massive player build though. At the probably power forward position would be his ideal position, although he definitely is capable enough at center as well. And he's super complete as well, just does everything well. He's a better version of his Galaxy Opal. Really fast, a great defender, great shooter, great dunker, really nice release this year as well. The Vucevic base is not a base you'd expect to be great, but it really is very smooth this year. Pro 2 fade and SIGs that, while they could be a little better and also haven't really been changed since his Galaxy Opal, still I think are good enough where he is a really, really nice card. Then you have your final non-Wemby card in this list, which is 100 overall Scottie Pippen, 6'8" with a 7-foot wingspan. And yes, it still pisses me off that they didn't change his SIGs. I think that sucks. I think this card is really disappointing because of that. They didn't change SIGs on him, Pippen, or him, Hakeem, or D-Book at all, and they barely changed them on Giannis. So, like, that's really lame to me. Now, release is still exceptional, as is the Pro 2 fade, as is the 6'8" frame with perfect stats and badges, and that's what puts him high on this list. But the lack of elite level saves still disappoints me with that Scottie Pippen card, although I do think he's an absolutely exceptional card. Then, you know what's left? GOAT Wemby, 100 overall Wemby, point guard Wemby, shooting guard Wemby, small forward Wemby, and power forward center Wemby. The power forward center Wemby is the worst, quote unquote, of all of these guys, quite simply because of his positional lack of versatility. I mean, technically the GOAT card 100 overall are positionally less versatile as well, but they're obviously 100 overalls. Although I will say, all of these Wembys are not that far away from 100 overalls. I understand he is 7'4", 94 base speed, 90 driving dunk, like has the lowest key stats, 88 strength. Like this card is pretty darn close to 100 overall himself, especially compared with how good his overall badges are in all these areas. Like I think as a whole, if I had to rank these cards in order, I would go power forward Wemby, and then I would go small forward Wemby, and then I would go 100 overall Wemby, then I would go shooting guard Wemby, then I would go point guard Wemby, and then I would still go GOAT Wemby because GOAT Wemby has the best SIGs of all these cards and is the all-known with the changed release. So I do think GOAT Wemby is the best of the Wembanyamas, but after that I would probably take the point guard and the shooting guard eligible one over the 100 overall, just because that size value that this Wemby is going to cause is going to create some of the most unfair mismatches that we have ever seen in my team, period, because there just aren't many cards that can counter physically the size of a Wemby at the point guard or shooting guard position. So if you wind up getting one of those cards, it is just exceedingly unfair and really exceedingly garbage. So like I said, this video is a little bit of a joke this week because it literally is. I mean, if I rank, it goes Jalen Green, Keegan Murray, Free Wemby, Mo Pete, JaVale McGee, other Opal Wemby, Devin Booker, Zach LaVine, Dark Matter Giannis, Dark Matter Hakeem, 100 overall Pippen, and then 6 more Wembanyamas at the top of the list. The 6 best cards in today's drops. In today's drop, the 6 best cards are all Victor Wembanyama's. That's absurd. That is all I have to say, and that is all I need to say. Hope y'all did enjoy the video. If you did, make sure you hit that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. I'll be back with more 2K content very, very soon, and I appreciate y'all. Peace.